Commander Zexthal's mandibles clicked in amusement as the massive viewscreen displayed the pathetic human vessel approaching their armada. The single ship, barely a kilometer long, looked like a metal splinter against the backdrop of their 300 war cruisers, each stretching 5 times its length. "This is what they send against the hegemony?" Zexthal's voice resonated through the command chamber, drawing chittering laughter from his officers. One primitive vessel? The human ship bore the designation Terra's Last Hope, emblazoned across its hull in crude human script. Its design was utterly mundane, a simple cylindrical frame with basic thruster arrays and what appeared to be standard kinetic weapon systems. Zexthal had seen more intimidating cargo haulers. "Fleet Admiral," his tactical officer hissed. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Put it through. Let's hear their final words." The voice that crackled through their communications was steady, almost conversational. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of the Terra's Last Hope. You have invaded our space and destroyed our colonies. We're here to stop you." The command chamber erupted in laughter. Zexthal's forearms gestured dismissively. "Human, you face the finest armada in known space. 300 vessels, each carrying enough firepower to glass your homeworld. Surrender now, and we might consider keeping some of your species as specimens." "That's very generous," Captain Chun replied, her tone unchanged. "But I'll have to decline." Zexthal's amusement turned to irritation. "Then prepare to witness the futility of your resistance. All ships, target that pathetic." The human vessel fired. Not missiles, not energy beams. Something else entirely, a barely visible distortion that rippled through space like heat shimmer. It struck the nearest hegemony cruiser, and for a moment nothing happened. Then the 5-kilometer warship simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not reduced to debris, gone as if it had never been built. The laughter in the command chamber died. "What?" Zexthal began, but Captain Chen's voice cut through his shock. "You're probably wondering what just happened," she said conversationally. "We call it a quantum deletion beam. It doesn't destroy matter, it convinces the universe that the matter was never there in the first place. Nasty little causality loop, but remarkably effective." Another distortion rippled outward. A second cruiser vanished, taking its 3,000 crew members into non-existence. "Impossible!" Zexthal shrieked. "No species has mastered quantum mechanics to that degree." "Well," Chen's voice carried a hint of amusement now, "we had a good teacher. You see, Admiral, humanity has a particular talent for learning from our mistakes. And our biggest mistake was trusting the SciFi when they first arrived in our system 50 years ago." Zexthal's blood ran cold. The SciFi, the most advanced race ever encountered, mysteriously disappeared decades ago. "They were kind enough to share their technology before your hegemony got to them," Chun continued as another ship blinked out of existence. "In exchange, we promised to use it wisely. This seemed like a good occasion." The Armada was in full retreat now, but the human ship pursued with impossible speed. Each shot was precisely calculated, methodical. The greatest military force in the galaxy was being systematically erased by a single human vessel. "Wait!" Zexthal transmitted desperately. "We can negotiate. We can." "You had your chance," Chin replied. "You chose to underestimate humanity. That's a mistake many species make. Usually, it's also their last." As Terra's Last Hope aligned for another shot, Zexthal realized the terrible truth. Humanity wasn't the primitive species they'd conquered countless times across the galaxy. They were something far more dangerous, survivors who learned, adapted, and remembered every lesson written in the ashes of their defeated enemies. The final distortion reached his flagship, and Fleet Admiral Zexthal had just enough time for one last thought. Perhaps they should have chosen their targets more carefully. Then the universe quietly forgot the hegemony had ever existed at all.